I welcome you to the first series of Project Flight, How to Fly a Glider. In the first episode, we're going to take a look at the cockpit. First, you have the instrument panel. In the middle, you have the airspeed indicator, which has a green arc which ranges from 80 to 180 kilometers per hour. The lower end is defined in gliders by the stall speed at max weight times 1.1, which has little margin to the stall speed, and the top, the highest speed, which is 180, is defined by the max rough airspeed. Then you have the yellow arc, which ranges from 180 kilometers per hour to 280 kilometers per hour in the ASK21, which ranges from max rough airspeed to never exceed speed, and the never exceed speed is also marked with a red line. This is the speed you should never exceed, as it says. Then you got the yellow triangle. This is the recommended approach speed. To the left, you got the mechanical vario, which indicates the vertical speed of the air mass. Down here, you got the electronical vario, which also has an acoustic. It shows you through your ear if you're rising or sinking, if the air that surrounds you is rising or sinking. But we're going to take a look at this later on in the series. Here to the left, you got your turn indicator, and in the middle you got an artificial horizon. In glider you only need those two, mostly for cloud flying, which isn't really practiced in gliding, and in most countries it is even forbidden. Here to the right you got the accelerometer. It's like a G meter which shows you your acceleration. This is mostly used for acrobatics because the ASK21 can also be used for acrobatics, and it is the most used basic acrobatics trainer in gliding, at least here in Germany where I fly. And the ASK21, for example, has a range from minus 3.5 Gs up to 6.5. This is slightly tougher than the normal minimum for certified glider, which is, I think, minus 2.645 through 5.35. It's slightly tougher, and therefore it can do most of the basic acrobatic moves. And here you got also the red lines to indicate where you shouldn't push on. Then you will sometimes you can damage the airframe, but it will not break until over 9 Gs, because there's all the time a safety factor from 1.5 in gliders, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't be damaged when you go above 6.5, but it won't break apart if you go above 6.5. Here to the right you got your compass, which is used for orientation on a map and to get a rough imagination where you're heading. Here you have the PDA, which is mostly used for cross-country flying. This isn't important in the series at this moment, but we will go into it. Then here you got the radio, which is used to communicate with the tower or other gliders. Also, this isn't really used in Condor because you always either flying alone, or if you fly online you can talk through a TeamSpeak or Discord, and it doesn't work inside of Condor. Okay, let me think shortly. Then we will go to the controls. You got the stick, which moves the elevator, which which influences pitch, which means that you go up and down. If you pull up, the nose goes up, and if you push down, the nose goes down. And you also got the aileron, which moves the rudder, which moves the control surfaces on the wing. And this is used to manipulate roll. And then you also got rudders, which are your foot pedals, which moves the rudder in the back of the plane, as you can see here. This is used to control the yaw of the glider. How to use this control we also gonna take a look at later in this series. Then for the last things, we've got the air brake, which are used to control the glide angle. These are mostly used for landing. Then you got the release knob, which is in every glider yellow, and this is used to release from tow or from the winch, and that you can head off and fly on your own. For the last thing, here we got the trim, and this is used to remove the stick force from the stick. When you're circling, you move the trim fully back, and then you don't have to pull all the time because the stick stays back on itself. And if you fly away or flying straight ahead, you can move the trim forward, and then you also you don't have to push all the time on the stick because it stays there. This makes holding defined airspeed much easier, and it's really important in gliding because then you don't have to focus all the time on your airspeed, and you don't need your arm muscles all the time to pull or push, which makes flying much more comfortable. That was it for the first episode of How to Fly a Glider. I would really appreciate if you would subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and would join in to the next episode of this whole series. Thank you and goodbye.